Yeah, I love Old Town Island and Old Town. I think you've got a few units there as well. You can see the Burj from there.
I actually prefer, so from Old Town rather than Old Town Island. Depends on what you're looking for, but the way that I've found going around the areas is Old Town Island is amazing for, say, someone who's coming on holiday or they're visiting every now and again, because you've got the Burj right there, but you're in and amongst it. Whereas if you're across the road, you're still walking distance away, you're close to the mall, but if you're walking through, say, Zafran or Rihan at night, it doesn't feel like you're in Dubai at all.
That's a good point though. Dress Opera is another one, to be fair, at the moment. Where it's handing over, it's like soulless at the minute, but when people do start moving in, it's not more. No, it's like that though. You go in.
Soulless. Hello.
Look into my eyes. Anything you need, come to us.
Let's go. That Downtown Podcast. Welcome, guys. This is episode 2, and we've got some new faces. So, back with you, Lorenzo. Welcome. Hello. Got Xanthia.
Hello.
Who is so nervous. I can feel the nerves coming out. And Cameron, a.k.a. Frank.
Yeah. Me too.
How are you, mate?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, tell me, we'll start with you. I'm going to call you Frank. Your name's Cameron. Frank, start with you. How are you? What have you been up to for the last couple of months?
Good. Just moved into sales from rentals. Doing the new buildings predominantly, really, at the moment. Aquanac 2.
Yep.
Downtown views.
I feel like you've had a really, really successful couple of months in rentals, built up some fantastic relationships, set some records in the company in the area. And then this month, first month in sales.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit new, but ready for it with all the things that come with it.
Good. Xanthia,
Hello.
also known as X in the office. Half the office
New
can't
nickname.
pronounce your name or read it. Yeah. You were with another firm before, right? You recently joined.
Yeah.
How you finding it?
Loving it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love the office. Yeah,
Okay.
good vibes, good people. We're all here to work hard.
Good.
Absolutely.
You do downtown, but you predominantly do Old Town Island and Old Town?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. We'll come on to that in a minute. Lorenzo?
Yeah,
For those
back
who don't
again.
know, my brother. How are you?
I knew you'd have to drop that one in there.
Well, what's going on?
Yeah, all right. So venturing back into downtown, obviously it's what I started doing before. I came away from it a little bit at the start of the year to focus a bit more on the luxury side, which is still doing, but then still got a lot of clients who are coming back to either resell their units that they've purchased from me before, or clients as well who I was in touch with beforehand who were interested in potentially selling, but the prices weren't right. Whereas now, obviously the market's gone up, we're in a good position, so they are now bringing their units to market with me.
So you're back in the game? Yeah? Good. Welcome back.
Thanks.
All right, so we were talking earlier about the buzz of downtown. Yeah, I wanted to touch a little bit on, there's quite a lot of towers handed over recently, right? Newer towers. I know you in the past have predominantly focused on older towers, renovate them and then resell them. I'd imagine you the same with Old Town and Old Town Island, and you're doing the newer towers. So what have we got handing over? What are the deals in the market? What things are we seeing at the moment?
Aquanac 2, very popular.
Okay.
Forte 2 is also popular. Forte Tower 1 obviously hasn't handed over yet.
Yep.
And Downtown Views, it's handed over quite slowly, but proves quite popular because it's virtually DIFC. There hasn't been many new launches in DIFC apart from the recent one just not long back. So obviously it's good for a lot of people who want to be near to that. Veg Crown.
I feel like, just to jump in as well, I don't know if you sent a photo, one of you guys sent me a photo the day from the pool. You get an unobstructed full view of Fountain and Burj Khalifa, right, from the pool.
Yeah.
So the amenities are really, really good from that and from Fulton.
And you've got communal spaces as well to work from. So they've got an actual outdoor space, again, looking onto the Burj, where if you're living in the tower, you can use it to work from home. So for people, especially if you're working in either DIFC or downtown, say Emaar Square, but you don't want to have the traffic of either of them, then it's a good middle ground where you're in and out in 5-10 minutes, got access to the mall from Downtown Views 1, but the amenities there are really good as well.
Okay, good. And does the price reflect it being on the outskirts of downtown, or is it?
If you're comparing it to, say, units on the boulevard, so like the closest comparable I would say will probably be Burj Vista, where you've got direct mall access from that tower few years old now, but the sizes are similar. They're transacting anywhere from 5.5 up to 6.5. So from that point of view, there is a lot of growth with downtown views too. They're transacting at the moment anywhere around 4.5 to 4.75. So 10-15% less than the next closest comparable. But I feel like the reason for that is, one, a lot of people don't know about the community yet. They've seen the buildings, but because it's not on the boulevard, they haven't been interested. And two, a lot of the units haven't handed over. So once the units hand over, there's a bit more of a community there between the three towers, then you'd like to see the prices rise from there.
It has been quite slow, to be fair, handing over.
Yeah.
Not slow, but like, if you think like back in May when I started predominantly in rentals, they were handing over. Now they're still on the 30th floor, maybe just above. It's
I
quite
feel like
slow.
Emaar do it on purpose though. From my experience, Forte as an example, I sold quite a few units in Forte years ago, and I feel like Emaar control the quality and control the quantity of units coming to market. If they just launch everything, there'll be an influx and it will hurt the market, right? Whereas if they drip feed units into the market, it will control it a little bit better.
And as well the snagging, because there's obviously work that needs to go on just before they're taking the handover, doing the orientations, to make sure that it's done to a certain spec, that they don't take handover and there's a few bits that need redoing. That it does take a bit longer, but then the owners have got the peace of mind that it's done to a certain level there.
That is true. Actually, Downtown Views too has had the least, like, from what I've known with owners and like tenants, the least, should we say, teething issues out of all the new ones. It tends to be spot on. Obviously, it's understandable. There's going to be some, but no, I agree with the location and coming onto Alcale Road and stuff. It's probably the best one really if you're looking to invest at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Another off-plan one that I think's exciting to look forward to is the St Regis.
Okay.
The residences, it's the chain of the St Regis, so it's really luxurious. Near the Opera Grand, and
I've got the word luxurious ringing in.
Grande
We'll dub it over.
So I like St Regis, the residences. They hand over 2025, and Grande as well. Grande is a great tower.
I'm excited to see Grande. I have to be honest, Opera Grand I didn't think was as good as it was made out to be.
I agree.
And we took handover again a while ago. I took handover for a couple of clients and wasn't what we thought, but I feel like Grande they're going to really step it up.
It's the hallways and stuff that's quite good in Opera Grand. If you look at Aqua 1 or 2, no disrespect, but you walk through and it can look a bit flimsy though, can't it, compared to Opera Grand where you go like, oh no, this looks really nice, but the layouts are obviously alright. It's the bigger, but they're not really like the awkward layouts and stuff.
Sometimes, yeah. Just going back to St Regis quickly then. So is it operating hotel? Is it service departments? Is it? You get
all the what's the word, like benefits. You get all the benefits.
Services.
You get all the benefits of the hotel.
Love making words up, don't you?
On the spot. You get all the benefits of the hotel, but it is residences. Some are serviced.
A la carte. Is that it? A la carte, where you can turn it on and off. Yeah, it is. So I don't know if this is correct, but a la carte services.
Similar to Address Opera as well.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, but there's two towers, Tower 1, Tower 2. At the front, it's your full Burge, your full water view, and at the back, it's the boulevard. It's opposite Forte.
That's a good point, though. Address Opera is another one, to be fair, at the moment. Where it's handing over, it's like soulless at the minute, but when people do start moving in, it's not more. No, it's like that though. You go in.
Soulless.
No,
it's not soulless. Okay, I'm just confirming one thing. Its address is Emaar. It's the newest address.
No, all I'll say is once people start moving in, the building's lovely and the views are amazing, but obviously there's not that many people in there at the moment.
Jump in there. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of, same with across Dubai, but definitely in downtown, there's a lot of hype around certain buildings. We've had it with Address Skyview from the start of the year, even back end of last year. Like if you look at, say, the 04 series there, the 3 beds, they've gone from 8 million now transacting at 13, 14 million because of the hype that you've got there with the restaurants, etc. I feel like with the Opera District at the moment, because it is still a bit of a construction site, until Il Primo, Grande, Address Opera, all of them are fully handed over, people know about them if they know downtown, but they don't really know the difference between that and, say, across the road with Boulevard Heights or Boulevard Crescent. But once everything hands over in the Upper District, once St Regis is ready,
Yeah.
all the retail
Changes
space
the whole
below,
game,
I
doesn't
think
it?
it's up and
but
coming.
people will
around there.
definitely see that as a separate postcode to just downtown. It will be the Upper
Definitely.
District. As
You
a
are
whole.
already getting people saying like, I just want the boulevard, and then
Yeah.
like we were talking about downtown views. If you're like the investor or you're the smart person who wants to live out the way, then you're gonna go for that. But some people do just want the postcode at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
if
don't
you
they?
want to be in the heart of it as well, like you can already see. I was outside Standpoint the other day, and going back 1 or 2 years ago, you get to Standpoint, you take clients there, and you'd almost need earplugs. There'd be that much construction around you. You walk into the units, and all you could hear was drilling. Whereas now, you walk around and they're starting to open it up. It's not fully done because Il Primo's still waiting to take handover, but you can now see that eventually it will get to a point where when you're in that district, you can walk across straight to the fountains, into the opera if you wanted to go there, and the restaurants will all be open as well. So it will be like the new downtown within
Yeah, I agree.
downtown.
And I think that going back to the address, and you've got things like Il Primo, once they are fully handed over, especially address, once it's fully handed over, then they start to choose. I think they're quite picky on who comes in from F&B. If you look, like you say, Skyviews, you've got Sailor V, you've got
Lucia's,
Cheers, you've got different restaurants in there
Yeah.
that are very attractive to go.
Yeah.
You know? Can't get over you called it. What did you call it? Soulless.
Yeah, no, like the thing is, like I've got like a 3-bed in there at the moment, and the view's amazing. You go and you're like, oh, this is really nice and that, and but obviously you go downstairs, there's no cafe or nothing open,
Yeah.
and then it's a bit, you feel like you've walked into something and you shouldn't be in there type
But
thing.
you know that with address, it has a reputation that
Yeah.
it will deliver. You know,
Yeah.
in time. Once
There's
it's
an
all ready.
opportunity as well, isn't it? Because then once people start to go there, especially like the addresses where a lot of people that end up buying there, from what I've seen, is not necessarily them looking there beforehand. They might go there for a pool day, or they might
Yeah.
go to the restaurants and they go, actually, I really like this tower. I work in the area. Why wouldn't you move there? So when you've got that hype there, and the only way that's going to come is when they've got all the facilities in place and the restaurants, etc.
The vibe is similar to like Skyviews in the sense like
Yeah.
the what do they call them? The people, the valet and whatever. And
Yeah.
quite good. It's quite easy access. You go in, you
What
can
do you
get
call
round
them
and
people?
stuff. It's quite nice.
You'd hope so. It's a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I mean is like some of them they're difficult to park, or like for instance
Yeah.
in Fountain Views it's a bit more difficult.
You're
to
coming
say
in
do
from the
that.
backside,
Yeah.
aren't you? Yeah. Whereas, the Opera District, once it is done, I'm confident that will be.
Yeah.
And it's
its
the
own
newest
hub.
address, right? So
Yeah.
there will be a hype. Organically, there'll be a hype around it just from being the newest. You know,
Yeah.
not the ones like. Coming over to you, X, Old Town Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done it a little bit as a business, but you're coming in to smash the area.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that. What are you seeing? What have you got going on? What is there a trend? Are people renovating?
Yeah, I love Old Town Island and Old Town. I think you've got a few units there as well. I think it's a certain kind of client that you get. You either get a lot of investors or an end user, in the sense of they know what they want, because it is so unique, it is so authentic, it is an older building than all these new ones. It's not as modern inside, but it really has like that Arabic kind of feel when you go in.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's got a lot of character. Yeah.
Old Town Island I love. It's right on the water. Obviously Burj, Attareen and Souk Al Bahar I think are the most sought after. Taja, whatever you want to call it with my accent. Taja, I don't know what you call it. Taja. I feel like there's a lot on the market. So when Attareen or Souk Al Bahar comes up, a good unit, it goes really quick. I've transacted a lot in Old Town Island, and then you go over the road and there's Old Town
Road.
Road.
I know. I'm thinking, don't mention
You go over.
it. Don't
Sorry,
mention
my
it.
Yorkshire accent. You go over the road, and obviously you've got Yansoon, Rihan, etc. There again, that authentic feel. You can see the Burj from there.
I actually prefer, so from Old Town rather than Old Town Island. Depends on what you're looking for, but the way that I've found going around the areas is Old Town Island is amazing for, say, someone who's coming on holiday or they're visiting every now and again, because you've got the Burj right there, but you're in and amongst it. Whereas if you're across the road, you're still walking distance away, you're close to the mall, but if you're walking through, say, Zafran or Rihan at night, it doesn't feel like you're in Dubai at all.
Someone else in
Yeah,
there,
it's true. Yeah.
It feels like you could be in Spain or anywhere.
Really?
And then all of a sudden you step out onto the road and you're on the boulevard, you've got the Burj there. There's
it's
nothing
beautiful,
else comparable to that.
Yeah.
in Dubai.
What's it like for Airbnb in there?
Really
Is it
good.
quite
Amazing.
high
Old
up
Town
there?
Island, especially, like I said, investor wise, they do short term there.
And in terms of pricing, let's test your knowledge now. So 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4 bedrooms.
For sale or for rent?
No, just for sale. What sort of pricing are we talking roughly?
So 1 bed in Old Town Island, the price is quite different when you go to Old Town. In Old Town Island, for a 1 bed, you'd be looking at the minute in the market 2.3, 2.4 mil.
Okay.
I sold one for 2.3. 2 bed, you'd be looking anything. It depends on the view, from around 5 mil.
Really
I sold
nice.
one for 4.5, which was a good price. An investor bought that. And then 3 beds, you could be looking anything from like 8 mil, 7 or 8 mil.
Just depends, doesn't it? Because the layouts there are all relatively similar, but you might have one unit that is literally on the water.
Yeah.
Whereas
Where it
you could
goes,
have one that's next door that's facing towards Address Downtown that won't carry the same
It's like
thing.
anything, isn't it? It's like buying a District 1 on the lagoon
Yeah.
or off the lagoon. It's the same
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
But the difference is you're not, say like the lagoon, okay, they can replicate the lagoon with the Mac Lagoons or
Yeah,
Talal Al Gaf, whereas this, you're never going to get the Burj Khalifa again. Okay, you might have the Creek Tower that comes up, but being on the fountains, you can't get that again.
Yeah, and when someone's got a unit that's on the water where you can see the fountains and the Burj, they keep hold of it. They don't want to let go of it. When they've got that unit, they're probably
Same as the
short-term.
residences as well. A lot of owners in there, which is an older tower now, one of the original in downtown, but the layouts are huge, 3 beds there, that they won't sell them because you've got the full view, which will never be constructed in front of. So for Airbnb point of view, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And for end use as well, where are they going to move to that has the same view?
That's another thing. The square foot in Old Town Island is amazing for like a 1 bed. It's like 1,500 square foot for a 1 bed. It's big
Is
when
it?
you walk in. Yeah, it is.
I mean, when you look at like
I have no
Bedford
idea how
down the
much
road,
it is, it? Yeah.
I've got a couple of 1 beds in Old Town Island, about 1,100, 1,200 square foot.
Really?
And they
Yeah.
walk in and you're like, whoa. Like, this is like, even
Yeah,
say
yeah,
the living
it's
space is big. And you sometimes, most of the original Old Town Island and in Old Town, you get the arches in the middle.
Nice.
A lot of people kind of, when the
Knock it through.
renovation,
Do they,
knock
yeah?
it through and have it as an open
We're
space.
seeing a lot of people doing that now in Old Town as well because the prices there are a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
If you say your 1 beds will be starting at 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah.
2 beds. I mean, I've got one at the moment that has a full Burj Khalifa view, vacant on transfer, 2.75 for a 2 bed. So if you're comparing it to the rest of the market, where if you know you're not going to get constructed in front of and there's nothing else like it, price per square foot comes in at around 2,000. It's still a lot of room for growth there.
Yeah, I think the best thing about Old Town and Old Town Island is you have like the peace,
Yeah.
and then you can
Yeah.
go into the hustle and bustle
You've got the
downtown.
choice, don't
you
you?
have
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
nice.
I had an investor buy in Old Town. He buys a few units. 1 bed's like you said, maybe like 1.4, 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah.
And he flips it for like nearly 2 mil. So it's a
Good
good, it's a good
returns, yeah, the
investment.
margins,
yeah.
And I feel like then coming on to the towers you're focusing on, they're a little bit smaller, but obviously the views are completely different. And I think although end users want bigger units, an investor might, especially if they're Airbnb-ing it, doesn't matter if it's smaller because it's better in fact because the service charges are less, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
So you
quite
net-
popular to be fair at the minute, Airbnb, which goes against obviously our market from a rental point of view. But obviously it's good for investors for us.
Definitely.
Some towers more than others, and you're noticing like owners who are getting a bit nervous with the market are just flipping onto the short terms, but the location is obviously a lot better.
I think short term for an investor makes sense as well because you can then sell the unit vacant or transfer. It's furnished, it will show much better. It's like it's staged. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of positives to it. Obviously, it's higher risk from an income point of view. You might have a month where you don't rent it.
In somewhere like downtown though, it's not high risk because if you're taking Dubai as a whole, okay, you'll have summer months that will notoriously be a lot lower than winter months. But if someone's coming out here on holiday, or if they're coming out here to work, which a lot of people will be staying in downtown for, they'll be working in Emaar Square, they'll be working in the IFC. So you just need to
even
change.
if they're in Business Bay, sorry to jump in here, even if they're on the other side, Business Bay.
But the difference is, I was having a conversation with an investor yesterday about this. Airbnb still works throughout the summer months, but you just need to take the approach slightly differently. In the winter months, you've obviously got the mall there, you've got the light show and everything else, especially across New Year's Eve. So that is going to be a no-brainer, which everyone knows for New Year's in downtown. But in the summer months, rather than going Airbnb for a day or weekly, you change it to corporates who will be taking it on for say a month, 2 months, 3 months at a time. So okay, the actual net return will be slightly less, but you've got the peace of mind that someone's in there, and the type of person that's in there as well is someone who's probably going to be a contractor over here or staying here for a few months to a year to work. They're only going to be in it to sleep really, and the rest of the day they're in the office.
It's a good point though, because even when obviously I joined in March, April, into the buy, you're looking for units like that. Like I had one for 2 months and then I had another one for 3 months. It's just a bit of stability for the landlord, and obviously it's covered by Airbnb, so it's a very good point.
If you look at that side, so for me, for example, I cover the lofts and worked on it for quite a long time now, and a lot of the owners in there have now turned to short term for that exact reason, because the prices there, entry points are still relatively cheap. You can get a 2-bed there, boulevard view for 2.4, 2.5 million, but the on Airbnb you're right next door to Emar Square. You can walk through the Vista Arcade, you're into the mall, so people who are working in Emar Square, it's perfect for them.
The likes of Blue Grand, they've just they've nailed all the old ones really now, haven't they? There's quite a lot available in them type of
places. I agree. One more thing I wanted to touch on was post handover payment plans. Right now in the off-plan, my background, as you know, is off-plan. Right now in the off-plan market, there isn't really any developers giving a post-handover payment plan. And what I've seen from you recently, when the units you're sending in, is there's units that were negotiated at the time of purchase with a 3, 4, some even 5-year post-handover payment plan. We've got quite a few of these units, and some of them, the splits are like 25-75. So for the investor, he or she is putting down 25%. I think it's 30% to get the NOC from Emar, plus the premium, whatever that is, and then your payments are in instalments after taking handover. What are the towers that you're seeing? Well, everyone, what are the towers you're seeing that have those payment plans?
So Ach1, Ach2, Forte, both good examples, and what you're seeing is owners were after crazy prices, should we say, and they're being a bit more reasonable now because it's sitting on the market, which obviously tends to happen. We know the market, but. I would say there's some really good deals now in Ach1, Ach2 particularly, and also Forte. Forte Tower 1, I think a lot of people sold or got a bit distressed because it took so long to hand over, but you look at what's available, it's quite snappy in the market. And
I was in the Forte gym, not training clearly, but I was in the gym the other day with one of the boys in the office, and it's like a commercial gym in there, isn't it?
Best gym, other than the addresses, I would say the best gym in downtown.
It's amazing.
The Opera's gym is quite good, but that's not.
I've not seen a gym.
But it's got no soul, right, Frank?
Some PT who doesn't get paid, been in there for 5 months, he hasn't earned a penny. One client he's got.
We do like Microsoft, but we're only joking. Go on, sorry, what are you saying?
No, you're right though, the facilities, and I think that's where it's changing now. If you look at downtown before, the older towers like Southridge Residences, Lofts, Burge Views, the layouts are really good in size. 2 beds there will usually start 1,1400 square foot. The new towers now are a fraction of the size, but they've changed it so that you're paying not just for the size, but you're paying for the facilities you have in there as well.
It's a community very much in it. And also I think one thing you've got to look at is, like, people say, I've had a lot of brokers tell me, like, people don't use the amenities, or like Ach1, Ach2, the pool's quite small, so people don't use it. But when you get like a big pool in Forte or a big gym is really good, people do use it.
It sells people on it, definitely.
Of course.
Even from an end user's point of view, you don't want the hassle of having to go to different pool days every week. You want to use your own facilities. But from an investor's point of view as well, if you think a lot of people now, as we know, are going down the Airbnb option. If you've got a unit on Airbnb, no matter whether it's branded residence or not, people, all they're going to look at is the view, the location, and the facilities. If it's got a good pool, a good gym, you can see that it's either looking onto the Burge or the Boulevard, and the location is walking distance to the mall, which everything virtually is in downtown. People will want to stay there and pay the premium.
Good. That's it from me. Anything from you guys other than what we've discussed today? I can't half finish.
No, it's quite
good from me.
It's just been quite a while. Like, obviously I went when you've done the last podcast, and there's still more people to probably come on and show the faces and stuff like
I think
that.
it's good introduction to you guys, isn't it? Anyone that's watching it that's got units to sell, or anyone that's interested in downtown, obviously reach out. I think the Instagram handles are below. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.